But this will be the real test. That mountain climb, relatively flat from once you've got up Craig Willies. I like the story. There's another machine interview now here. Yeah, the riders are good too. This is number 16. That's Dan Neen. Just a little bit slow going away. That's the only kind of difference. Certainly on the approach to Ramsey. Very, very good indeed. And just seems to struggle a little bit going up towards Waterworks. But understandable, really, to be fair, with them being only battery powered. But certainly through Ramsey. On this, the first practice lap, I think there is another one on the agenda, is Dan Neen.
Right, just to come in there, just to let you know, because we're keeping an eye on the figures coming back from Selby, so at least we can let you know when they are through Selby. And for quite a long time, only Rob Barber and Daniel Neen had gone through, so there will be quite an interval, I think, before the next machine comes up to the hairpin. But if it's as it is now on the road, it'll be Chris Petty, number 8 on the Barefoot Motors machine. He is through the Selby speed trap at 79.6 miles an hour. Thomas Schoenfelder has gone through at 75.8, and Chris Heath is also through. Let me just correct that because the figure just updated. Thomas on the XXL is 80.3 miles an hour. Chris Heath, 75.8 is his speed on the electric motorsport machine. Who else is through there? Mark Buckley, number 26 on the TTXGP machine, 64.8 miles an hour for Mark Buckley. That's one of the Bramo bikes. And also on the other Bramo bike, his teammate Roy Richardson, number 11, 67.1 miles per hour. So the fastest through the speed trap then is Rob Barber, 102.6, followed by Daniel Neen, 92.6, and the third quickest is Thomas Schoenfelder at 80.3 miles an hour. We'll take a short break.
TT Race Timing brought to you by Graham London.
George Spence, number 3, is safely through the Selby speed trap as well on the Kingston University machine. So it's all happening. It's all exciting stuff, and congratulations to all those who've been involved in the development of these machines. I think today is not so much about the riders. It really is about the teams who have been developing them. Back now to you, Roy, at the hairpin.
Yes, and Thomas Montano is through here too. I think he's riding at number 1 on this particular event, is he? Yes, just looking at the programme that we've got lined up in front of us. But he caused a bit of humour as well, as just when we were saying once they get round the hairpin it becomes a little bit difficult and we'll just slow them down a little bit, and he was genuinely kind of like a horse geeing it up and slapping the side of the fairing to make it go up the mountain. So a bit of frivolity there, but there's a lovely story that's related by John Kenyon. I'm sure that everybody's heard it now, but certainly it goes back to when in 1907 the first TT started out there on the St John's circuit, and it was the same speculation. When you look at the machinery that was getting campaigned then with belt drive and single cylinders, twin cylinder machines, and all a bit primitive, remembering it was 1907, John tells a lovely story, and I think he told it to Charlie the other morning, about when they were spectating, not him, I hasten to add. Oh, just relate that because we've got another bike interview now. What number is this one we've got here, boys? That is number 8. Well, certainly the setup of the machines is good, and he gives a little thumbs up. That one went away a little bit quicker. Now, whatever they've done to that, Chris Petty on the Barefoot Motors Racing, by far the quickest acceleration away from the hairpin. Another machine interview now, and that's number 18. We've turned the effects microphone well up. We had to take on the brakes there to get round, but that looks like an NS bike, number 18, the XXL machine there, Thomas Schneerfeller. And number 21 here as well. That looks like a little 125 kind of machine that they've shoehorned the motor into that. Was that number 25? I didn't see that on my particular programme. We haven't got the transponders on, I wouldn't have thought, but they're all well going through as well. And going back to that story about John relates about when Charlie Collier was going up the hill, and obviously going up from Craig Willies, where Morris's country position is, up to Sarah's cottage, Charlie Collier allegedly, and this is a story which has been related many times over the years, Charlie Collier dropped his gloves, and a couple of spectators there was a young fella and their father looking at these new conception of TT riders going round the course, the old St John's circuit there, and he tapped the young fella on the shoulder. He said, "Run up and tell Mr. Collier he's dropped his gloves." And the genuine story is that he went up because he was pushing it up the hill. 26 26 there, that's Mark Buckley on the Bramall bike, and number 11 as well. I'm impressed by this, I must admit. Number 11, that one is another, is that the Bramall bike with Roy Richardson? It doesn't look like his leather's going through there. I think that was Rob Barber, Team Agni, on that particular occasion going there. But the latter ones seem to have mastered this technique of getting it further up on the way out. I suppose you've got to take everything into consideration as well. The gearbox, how does that operate? Is it just a normal gear or belt drive or whatever the case may be? It might be like the old DAF cars they used to have, where they had a multitude of belts underneath to keep them going. But certainly it's going to be interesting on Friday. There's certainly a fair amount of prize money, I think, available for this. The publicity will be absolutely tremendous, and certainly it'll be a nice curtain raiser to the final race of TT 2009 over the mountain circuit. I don't know whether we'll be able to keep check on them as quickly as that, because the way things are working out, it might, well, I suppose they will have to put transponders on to get a final result on that. But certainly the ones that have retired now will have a bit of work to do and messing about as well, isn't it? So the way things have worked out, we've actually witnessed at Ramsey Hairpin battery-powered, electric or generated machinery going through. Certainly a new innovation, and like Morris and myself, a first on Shure Radio TT. Whether they'll be near the grandstand or not remains to be Charlie at the grandstand.
Well, I can answer that question, because they are, or certainly Rob Barber is, because he's already been signed at Crockney-Mona. Dan Neen has also been signed past the bungalow. So at least two of the machines have made it to the top of the mountain, and once they start coming down, it should be plain sailing, because the batteries will then regenerate on the way down. Some of the machines do have gearboxes, some of them don't. All sorts of new technology has gone into the powering of these machines. There was a thought that maybe alternative fuels would be used for the TT, anything that was green with no emissions, but they were ruled out. It's electric power only this time around. Down to Chris, I think Rob Barber is in sight.
He certainly is. I'm just on the front rail, and he gets a big round of applause. It's Robbie Barber! And there you go, takes a checkered flag to massive cheers, and we don't know what the lap time is. Tim O'Hanlon's actually got the old stopwatch here. Tim, what did you time that at?
Well, just over 27 minutes.
Just over 27 minutes,
Actually, I
Charlie.
can give you that precisely, because
Okay.
the transponder's kicking in here. It was 26 minutes, 41.39 seconds, an average speed of 84.81 miles an hour. And actually, it's worth making the point that through the Selby speed trap, Rob Barber clocked a faster speed than one of the sidecars in the practice session earlier on. I won't say what sidecar crew it was, but nonetheless, I think it's been a fantastic experiment and has turned out to be a resounding success. Back to you, Chris.
Yeah, going to wait for the second man to come in and then maybe shoot down and have a word with Rob Barber. And well, he has made history by being the first man to complete an electric lap, and you can probably hear all the people in there. I don't know if Tim, who's got the other microphone down the middle, wants to jump in and maybe pick up a bit of that audio there, but getting a great reception on the grandstand there from all the crowd as he comes in to complete the first lap there. Let's see if anybody else. I'm not sure where Dan Neen is. He is second on the road. Charlie, can you tell me exactly where he may be?
Let's see if he's turned up at Crockney-Mona yet. I don't think he has. He's not got to Crockney-Mona as yet, but meanwhile on the far side of the island, some of the other riders are still going through the speed trap at Selby. George Spence went through at 58.5 miles an hour. Number 14 Paul Dobbs on the HT Blauver outfit, 59.8, and 24 Stephen Harper at 45 miles an hour. Back down to Tim Glover.
Well, we're going to have a word with Mr. Barber here. How was that?
Fantastic. Absolutely amazing support. I've never ever seen support like it in my life.
Fantastic.
People waving and shouting, fantastic. One of the best experiences of my life, that was, definitely. Until the bird hit me in the hand. That hurt.
Look, yeah, I can see it on the glove there. But tell us about the experience then of being on this electric bike. Where were you really happy? Where did it struggle? Did it struggle?
Struggled a bit out of the hairpin, but it's a single gear. And the thing was just awesome. It was just really nice to ride. And it's just amazing what a battery-powered bike can do. All credit to Cedric and Arvin from Agni Motors. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
How much involvement have you had, apart from obviously being nominated as a rider, in any development, or have you just been riding this at Derby and then now today?
No, it's 100% a team effort. They rang me up, asked me if I'd ride for them. I did my own work on them, thought, you know, they're a good team.